From Super League to Olympic distance to age group world records to Kona. Go longer with the right fuel at the right time with SFuels.
This is a phenomenal bike ride, and I can tell you he's so casual. This is his first time he's ever biked the full 112 miles here in Hawaii. He's never been up to the turn in Harvey. He's certainly been up there today. Doesn't he look...
Hey everybody, welcome to Day 3, Breakfast with Bob from beautiful St. George. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by Master Spas, Zoot Sports, the original triathlon brand, HOKA, Let's Fly, SFuels, Go Longer, Biostarks.com. Use the code BWB10 for a 10% discount. Quintanaroo, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Zions Bank, Premium Plus Sports, and of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation, a young man who I just met for the very first time. Racing as a pro, Marc Dubrick joins us. Marc, how you doing?
Great, thanks for having me.
It's an honor to have you. I always love meeting new up-and-coming pros. So how'd you get into this sport?
I grew up swimming, following the footsteps of my siblings, and then fell into running and really enjoyed the team atmosphere of cross country.
Yes.
Crazy bunch of high school kids. Just fell in love with running as well, and ended up running at the University of Missouri. But just through some injuries, kept up with the swimming.
Right.
And that kind of brought me into some triathlon in high school, of course,
right.
And then after college, went all in on triathlon.
And the goal is Paris 2024.
Yeah, that's still the goal. Obviously, we're sitting here at the 70.3 long course world champs. But yeah, the Olympics is always been a childhood goal,
Sure.
dream of mine. But yeah, so 2024 will be definitely on the radar, even after of course, after this.
Yeah. And you said that Ben Canute's dad was one of your coaches?
Yeah. So I love how small the triathlon and sports community is. So I grew up in DeKalb, Illinois, just outside of Chicago.
Northern Illinois
University,
yeah.
Yep. So we lived just off campus. And I really don't know how the connection was made, but I got connected with Ben Canute's dad. I think he may have been the club support for Northern Illinois' Tri Club. So he became just a little mentor for me. I was getting, used to the bike. Didn't really know what triathlon was. Was it run, bike, swim, bike, run kind of thing?
Yes.
But yeah, it's small world. So Ben Canute's dad took me out, and I see him every once in a while. We saw each other at Clash, so it's good connecting. And then he actually connected me with Jim Vance. So Jim Vance, even though he's in California, was my first coach. I was on Tri Juniors. Yeah, so I did 2 years of junior elite racing. Before kind of taking a break from triathlon to focus only on running in college.
Now, what did your running coach? It's funny because when we were talking to Taylor Knibb, she talked about how her triathlon coach actually worked with the coach at Cornell, and they devised a running program that worked for both. For you, because a lot of running coaches, they just want you to run. They don't believe in cycling, swimming, do that on your own time, but you need to run a lot of miles.
Yeah, and I was very undertrained in high school. Of course, that let me be injury-free,
exactly.
Which was awesome, of course. And then getting into college, I got injured right away.
Too much, big time,
yeah,
change
big jump
miles.
in volume, yeah. So it took 2 years, 3 years before my coach was like, yeah, the swimming's really helping your running. Like, he supported it.
He supported it after seeing the results.
Yeah, absolutely. I would come back off these injuries pretty fit. Of course, still had to be slow with the miles, bringing those up, but I would just be super aerobically fit.
Yes. And actually, it's funny. Years ago, I was talking to Olympic gold medalist Frank Shorter, and he was talking about the cool thing about running is when you get injured, you come back, you can't really run that hard because you've lost fitness. And the problem we saw with someone like a Mark Allen in the early days, he'd get injured, and then he'd swim and ride more, and he'd come back just fit, and he'd get injured again, right? Because his engine actually was more tuned than it had been. So did you find that as well? Because you were so tuned, you were so fit, even though you'd been injured, coming back you could get injured again.
Yeah, thankfully not so much. We were pretty smart at school. So I think I said this, University of Missouri, we had a great team, staff, athletic trainers around us. So I didn't fall into that cycle, because that can be a very, very bad cycle, just that injury, get fit, get injured again.
Right.
So we came back slow, and, you have those red shirts you can use, which I did. So I went 5 years in college, loved every second of it. And then, right after college, decided to go all in on triathlon, see what I can do with it, and kind of, it's my dream job. So I'm just excited to be doing it now and hopefully continue to do it for a lot longer.
That's a pretty cool job. So this year, when we look at the longer distance, you third at Cozumel, 70.3, and then 70.3. That's in 2022 and 2021. 70.3 Maine, you get second. Got third at Memphis. The seventh was here in St. George.
No, the seventh. Yeah, it was. So not many people know this, but there were short course races here, and there was.
I did not know that. So that was part of the America's Tri.
Yeah, that
America's
was our
Tri series.
It was our Continental Champs was here 1 year ago today,
but on a shorter course.
Shorter course. It was all
like Olympic or even shorter.
It was
sprint.
Olympic. Yep.
Olympic. Okay.
So it was It was in Quill Creek. So just north of where we're swimming, on Saturday, and it was all in this campground. Beautiful race, of course.
Wow.
But people forget that there was a short course race here, and there was one that they canceled last second. It was supposed to be here at the end of October.
Okay.
Or sorry, end of October.
Yes.
I don't even know, a month ago.
So
I don't even know what month we're in right now.
So there was America's Olympic Tri, America's Tri Cup, right?
Yep.
And then the America's Tri Cup, and then there was another. Then there's America's Olympic Tri. Right? It was
the wording's all weird.
Yeah. And these are all Olympic distance, though.
Yeah. So each Continental Champs is Olympic.
Okay.
But it's technically a Continental Cup. Mm-hmm. So there's Continental Cup, World Cup, WTS, or WTCS now.
Right. Yeah.
So those Continental Cup championships are worth World Cup level points.
Right.
So that was a good amount of points that I got there for getting seventh. I wasn't happy with a seventh.
Right.
You never are.
No.
But
it's a process.
It's a process, exactly. And then. It's funny, what got me into long course was I broke my hand last year in a crash. I was in Poland at a short course race, draft legal race, and just crossed wheels, completely my fault, ended up breaking my hand. So silver lining to that, I couldn't swim as much. I was
training indoors on your bike.
Yeah, no, I went outside. I rigged up this special little, actually it was a lacrosse ball on my handlebars, so I could ride outdoors.
Wait, you had a lacrosse ball so you could have your hand resting on it.
Yeah, I was in a cast, so the only way I could use my brake was if I had it propped up kind of funny.
Oh my God.
So I was biking a lot and then running a lot more. Yeah. I had this 5-pound weight, but still, silver lining to it. That's what got me to sign up for Maine. I was living in New Hampshire for the past 3 years with my coach, James Peterson.
Yes.
We do New Hampshire and then go down to Claremont for the winters.
Yeah.
So Maine is, an hour drive from where we were in New Hampshire.
How perfect is that?
So silver lining to everything. Got my first podium, debut as a podium, and we're on a nice streak, 3 for 3 for Ironman podiums. But I'm honest with myself. It's the process. Those were, the lower tier 70.3s. Nothing like a 70.3 world champs.
Yeah, you're looking at the clock we just had you sign, and it's Gustav Eden, and it's Christian Blumenfeld, and Rudy von Berg, and all these folks that are sort of the place you want to get to.
Absolutely, yeah, and we've talked about this before the start of the interview. It's that process, taking steps, whatever it is. Failure is not failure. You got to learn from that stuff. So these WTS races as well that I did this year, they were very bad races for me. Nailed the swim. Still had a hard time on the bike, and then you're just out of it by the time you get to the run.
When you've done some of these 70.3s, compare those to the short distance races you're doing, because you were doing draft legal. Draft legal to time trialing is a different game, but obviously you had success right away.
Yeah, it is definitely hard to compare. The swim for me is, in long course, I'm really not thinking about it. It's not really a worry of mine.
Right.
And I'm not really worrying about it in short course, but so much can happen.
Oh, in short course, because if you're not with that group out of the water, the race is over.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It is over. You're not time trialing
Nope.
back up to a group that's
No.
going 30 plus miles an hour.
Yeah, the cycling level, starting with Brownlee and Javier, changed significantly, and those races changed significantly.
Yep, exactly. So I know I have a long way to go in on the road bike and
Right.
the draft legal cycling, and I also have a long way to go in the time trial.
Right. It's a different gig.
Yeah, different gig, and I know I have there's a lot of gear that I could get still to make me faster. A lot of work on the
Right.
position. I'm in a position still that's it's aero, of course, but I'm still getting used to holding that position, which
Yes.
is here. You get out of the saddle, which is nice. But at Clash Daytona, that was a rude awakening. 20 laps
Yeah.
of not getting out of aero position.
Yeah, and people underestimate how tough that is.
They really
you're-
do, yeah.
Because you're into the headwind, then you got tailwind, but you just it's unrelenting because you never get out of aero.
Yeah, and I would go there again and do it all over again because that was such a fun race. They treat you really well there, Bill
They do.
Christie and
He's the
Clash,
best.
and
Yeah.
it's definitely on the radar for the end of this year. But
Good.
I love the process, all the races I've done, and it's been great so far.
So it's funny, we were interviewing Gustav Aiden the first day, and I'm looking at his 2017 WTCS. 25th, 27th, 28th, DNF, 24th. I'm like, so if somebody told you after that year, 2017, that in a few years you'd win 70.3 Worlds at Nice, and then you'd win the Ironman World Championship, and you'd win two 70.3 Worlds in a row, would you have been surprised? He said, no, because we're in the midst of a process. I understood that you take your lumps and you learn from those.
Yep.
And it sounds like you're sort of in that same.
Yeah,
same
I
idea.
definitely believe in myself. I have a great team, coach, family around me, and it's just getting the ball. I'm just getting the ball rolling now. There's always going to be, a bad race, a bad result, but you just got to know that you're doing the right things.
Yes.
Of course, if a change needs to happen, make it.
Right.
I decided to move to Boulder this year. Kind of moved to Boulder.
Yes.
Kind of couch surfing. Stayed with a good friend there. I'm in Lafayette, so I've been, training with a bunch of.
You're training with Holly Lawrence
Yeah,
for a while.
exactly. We were talking about that. So, there's so many pros there. There's a lot of individuals that are looking for people to train with. So I've been jumping in with Holly. We've been swimming together. Leslie Smith, been swimming
Yes.
together. Erica Hawley, who's the most well-known Bermudian, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And Erica and I have traveled quite a bit together doing the short course stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it's been really nice. Rudy Von Berg is there, and we did this, awesome ride up to Estes Park right when I got there. So, my first day there, I'm doing this 100-mile ride with all these pros, and it was just like, yeah, this place is awesome.
This is very
It
cool.
was amazing, and, I'm hoping to move there, semi-permanently. I don't like the cold.
Right.
But I do fine in it. I actually think I race better in cold than
Oh, you're
in
from
hot.
DeKalb.
Yeah,
Come on.
you got the brutal winters there.
Oh, yeah. So the goal here is what?
I wouldn't say I have a place goal.
Okay.
But I know I'll be at the front of the race on the swim.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because there's not many races you do, especially it's not like you're at a WTCS race. This is a little different because you're going to have the chopper. You're going to have all the media.
Yeah.
If you're up with that first group out of the water with, Ben Canute and those guys.
So, I'll be there after the swim. It's going to be, pulling in the reins
Not-
at the
not
first
getting
part of the
carried away.
bike.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting, though. And just do my thing on the bike. I know there's going to be people passing me, go with
Yes.
every group, if I can, if it makes sense, and then just, run my heart out. And I think I can be competing with some of the top guys. I don't think there's a reason. Yeah. I have a strong swim, but I do think my run is actually stronger than my swim.
You ran at Missouri. Come on now.
Yeah, and I, still new to that long course, this long run here.
Right.
But the training's been going really well, the altitude training in Boulder, and yeah, I'm just really excited to be here and see what I can do.
So when you look at beyond Paris, right? Say you make the team in Paris, or you don't make the team in Paris. We still have LA 2028 being back in the U.S. and triathlon here, and then the relay. There's so much excitement around the 2028 games because there's going to be the focal point will be the triathlon because that was born in the U.S. Is that part of the game, or are you thinking Paris then move on?
Yeah, 2028's kind of
That's pretty far
it's
away.
a long way away.
Yeah.
But anything can happen. Like I know I'm close on the road bike.
How old are you now?
27. So
27.
2028
so,
would be a long way.
You're right.
And it's
yeah.
been a roller coaster for short course.
Right.
And I knew it would be, but it's pretty tough. But I do enjoy it. You know,
Right.
it's a bigger challenge for me. That's short course
Right.
stuff. But yeah, I don't know. That's a long ways away. It's funny, every result, you know, these big results for short course have given me so much traction with sponsors.
Right.
And, you know, I just haven't had that in short course. And a lot of that's probably because of my results. But a lot of it's, you know, we just don't know about short course as much here in the States.
Because there aren't enough races.
There's
Because
not-
most of the WTCS races are in Europe and Asia,
Mm-hmm.
and we really don't have the high profile. And to be honest, to do those races and be on that circuit, you almost need to live over there, right?
Yeah,
You need to live and train
exactly.
over there, which makes you a little out of sight, out of mind.
Yep, exactly. And I lived in Girona this year.
Okay.
So I did Claremont, and then,
Right.
you know, I was like, okay, it's time to go to Europe. Because,
Right.
you know, you can only each country can only host 3 short course races. So that kind of limits you here. So over there, it's so much easier to travel.
Right.
And you can jump on a bunch of races. You got the French Grand Prix races.
You can race on a Friday and a Saturday and a Sunday.
Yeah, I've heard people do that. They go
Yep.
to a French Grand Prix race on a Friday, and then they flew to do a
Yep.
Continental Cup on the next day.
Exactly.
And of course, you recover a little bit easier, quite a bit easier from these sprints.
Exactly.
But yeah, they really enjoy the short course over there, and you know, maybe I'll be over there again next summer, but who knows?
So if you do a big breakthrough, you come here and finish top 10, right, in a race like this, or top 5. Does that change the way you look at, okay, do I focus on 70.3 for next year? Because I think what's confusing a lot of times for sponsors is this an Olympic athlete or is this a 70.3 athlete? Because in this day and age, you can make a living, a good living, 70.3 in PTO.
Mm-hmm.
You start establishing yourself at the sort of that middle distance. But with the Olympics in there, it's committing to one or the other is sort of important.
Yeah, I think if I have a breakout race, whatever place that is, top 10, top 5, I'd be obviously stoked with both of those. It would be hopefully a good preview of what's to come for my long course career. You know, it's been a childhood dream and you know, a realistic goal, I think, to make it to the Olympics.
Yep.
So it'd be great to have sponsors that support that. And you know, I'm coming back to long course, of course.
Right.
So,
You'll do both.
Yeah.
And they do complement in this day and age because the bike ride has become really a part of the race. Mm-hmm. People step up. We've seen it with Christian. We've seen it with Gustav. You step up very quickly and are competitive.
Yeah, my my TT bike on the long course team, it's definitely helped my road bike. Like
they help
I feel
each other.
the translation.
Very good.
So it's sad. I've gotten a few, you know, sponsorship emails that, you know, they don't want to support me because have this Olympic goal. And that's hard. Yeah, it's hard. And then they'll even say sometimes, if you were to switch full time to long course,
let us know.
Yeah, let us know. I'm like, don't you want to like support my goals, my dreams? I will be doing long course eventually.
Right.
But this is something I've always wanted to chase. And of course, I'm going to give it everything I have. So that's unfortunate you don't want to support me, but I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'm all in on the Olympics, so let's talk, I guess, later.
Exactly. Well, you know, it's nice. At 27, you're still young. You still used to. When we were interviewing Craig Alexander the other day, his first Ironman, he was 34. So in this day and age, it's different because people are coming in when they're, you know, Sam Laidlaw, 23, and Gustav and Christian were probably 25, 24 when they did their first longer distance race. So, you know, you've still got plenty of time.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself too. It's been fun, you know. I felt like I just started biking when I was 18. Yeah. But of course swam and ran kind of for my entire life. Yep. But there's always something you can learn. There's always some more you can do. There's someone you can learn from. There's more people to meet. Exactly. So there's always something that you can do, and you know, everything is just adds to that momentum. So when you become a big star, I don't want to be reaching out to you and having to go through your people, right? You and I, as you become a big, okay, Mark, you need to follow this guy because he's going to be really good at this. So don't block me, right? People become big stars and they're like, "What's your name again? I don't know who you are." Yeah, well, I'm the one who slid into your DMs on Instagram to get this interview. So you know, I'm trying to make opportunities for myself, either through hard work or just taking chances. So I definitely won't do that. You know, last night we ran into each other as well. I'm at this awesome homestay that Nick Chase set up for a lot of the pros.
Exactly.
And they had VIP access, so I was able to come with them. And that show that Ironman put on was awesome last night, especially with all the stuff they talked about the pros. I don't know if there was any other pros there besides me, but that was really cool. That was really fun.
You usually don't get a lot of pros come to the pre-party, and they'll be there for the awards.
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll be there for the awards. But it was really fun. That VIP experience was cool. I was just with Andrea and Scott. I got to give them a shout out. I've been here for a week and a half, and they're kind of those crazy triathletes, but they felt like family right when I got
there.
Scott, the guy that I'm staying with, he did the rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon last weekend.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of people that live here.
Exactly.
That was a easy 45 miles. This is running. Yeah.
It's crazy. Marc, thank you for taking time. Best of luck on Saturday.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more from you in the years to come.
Thank you. Thanks again.
Marc Dubrick has been our guest. Everybody, again, Breakfast with Bob, day 3 from beautiful St. George, Utah. Hold on. We'll be right back.